The views and opinions expressed on From the Mouths of Madness are that of the panel and not of the Geeks Under the Influence Network or their sponsors, Amazon.com and tpublic.com. Listeners, beware. Coming straight from the Mouths of Madness, I am one of the hosts, Lowdown. With me, as always, is...
F.U. Hunter. What's up, bitches?
Yeah, bitches.
At this point, not snowed in bitches, best way I can put it, because all the shit's finally melting.
Hope you got your power, bitches.
Seriously. God damn.
Kind of got fucked.
Apparently in Richmond, if you were south of the river, you were fucked.
I think you just lucked out, because if you looked at the outage map on Dominion, like... all of Richmond and the surrounding northern, eastern, western, southern counties was red.
Yeah,
so and if you scrolled any of those sections and zoomed in, you saw like 700 outages reported. 400 outages. Like, you just got lucky.
Oh well, and it's also because I actually prepared. Most of the time, I don't pay attention. Power goes out, I'm fucked. This year, I charged the fuck out of everything. I had 2 fucking power banks loaded, ready to go. Nothing. Yeah. Now, next time, I'll probably not pay attention. Power goes out. I'm fucked. This time I was prepared. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're coming up to the end of February, which is, usually the shittiest month for winter weather in Virginia. So, going into March, this should be it. This should have been it. It should be done.
Yeah, you say that, but
a rare occasion.
And then that blizzard of March 10th is going to hit. So, yeah. Well, blizzard I can deal with. It's fucking bullshit ice. That's what fucks shit up.
The ice storm is what fucked us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it royally fucked us. Anyway, we're not here to be your meteorologist, but what we are here to talk about is tonight on the chopping block, on the chopping ice block. Does that work? No,
God damn it.
It's terrible.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, listeners. We've got 1995's, so second oldest on the chopping block, because the oldest was Texas Chainsaw 2. This is the second oldest. On the chopping block?
Yeah.
What was the oldest?
I believe a movie called Hell Night that you brought up.
Oh, that's right.
Aha. Yeah.
Was that 81?
Yeah, that's fucking old as shit.
82, yeah. Holy shit. All right, third oldest.
That movie's older than my wife. Anyhow, let's go on.
But not as old as you. Anyway, 1995's Tales from the Hood. We love our anthology series. And,
oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like one of the first popular, like, for the most part, all black casted horror movies.
Yeah.
Outside of like the one segment, well, 2 of the segments where they were there for like good reason. The white people were there for good reason. But great film. If you're into that, I mean, it doesn't mean it survives the chopping block, because there are movies we've talked about that we enjoy, but doesn't mean it actually something we want to own.
Yeah.
So we're not showing our cards just yet. But
now, I will say one thing. On a prior one, we covered Mortuary Collection.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember trying to figure out how to describe Clancy Brown, and I forgot. And rewatching Tales from the Hood reminded me, oh yeah, he's a lot like Clarence Williams III in this fucking movie, of that, like, the head guy who just loves fucking with people.
Yeah, but I think Clarence Williams portrays it in a way where he's enjoying it just so much more.
I know, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It has that same kind of beat. And it was funny because I was trying to think of what to compare him to, and I completely forgot about this till I watched.
Rewatched it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's one of the actors. But before we get in that, we'll talk about is directed by Rusty Cundiff.
I always leave the last names to you, so
Cundiff.
So
I have no idea, and it's produced by Darren Scott, who was also the producer on Stepfather 2, Keep Him in the Horror World, and then he also produced an amazing movie, little Oscar-winning movie called Menace to Society.
Oh, nice!
That.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking movie.
Yeah,
and this movie was written by both Rusty and Darren. We're just going to go with the first names. But executive produced by, here we go, big name, Spike Lee.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's a Spike Lee joint then.
Spike Lee joint.
Yep.
Yeah. He directs those.
That's true.
This is what directed.
I don't know if his production company would put that on there, but.
But I remember when this movie came out, dude. Like I remember seeing it in the theaters, and I was like, Tales from the Hood. I'm like, oh, like Tales from the Crypt, like Tales from the Dark Side. Like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know. I always thought that was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, but it's weird. You roll up to the funeral home, and it looks like white bread America funeral home, though.
Yep.
Until you get into it, and there's a lot of purple, and there's a lot of like Clarence Williams' costume is fucking amazing.
It's funny because like I know he's been in a bunch of other stuff, but him specifically, I reference this, and then
Mod Squad.
What's that? See, I don't even remember Mod Squad.
He was like one of the leads in the Mod Squad for many a year.
Okay,
that was his like big.
I mean, I was gonna throw that out there, or he was also the main bad guy, and God damn it, the Dave Chappelle fucking movie that I'm drawing a blank on, Half Baked.
Half Baked, yeah,
he was a bad guy, and he plays almost the same character.
Yeah. He's a very easily can be confused with a young Lawrence Fishburne.
Absolutely,
like in looks and in acting, kind of like I don't know. It just I was like, wow, this is like if Lawrence Fishburne was still young.
Yeah,
when his face was still slim. But anyway, it is an anthology series that takes place. The frame story is around another. We just did Mortuary Collection, another funeral home.
Yep.
And 3 drug dealers / gang members roll up, and they are there to buy some found drugs. So apparently, was it Mr. Sims, the owner of Sims Funeral Home, found some drugs in the alley, and he's willing to sell them to the drug dealers.
Yep.
Right. But in trying to set up, the guys just want to get in there and get the fuck out. They want to be gone. Well, but then of course they come across a body because they're setting up all the different parlor rooms, have bodies ready to go, and they're like, oh, but you should hear about this young man first. So here we go. We got another guy go around telling stories of dead people in the funeral home.
Yeah.
But he's got this movie did it before.
Yeah, way before, actually. Way before. I mean, 24
years before. And the first segment is called Rogue Cop Revelation. And all right, I'm going to get in this right now. Every one of these stories is like fucking hardcore. Like there's nothing remotely
touch on a
there's not like if you're sensitive to anything socially or even historical when it comes to the race issues and whatnot, like this movie is very like no holds barred.
Oh yeah,
on all ends of it too, which is cool. And so this one, so the rookie cop rolls up on what was supposed to be a routine pullover, and his partner and 2 of the other cops that his partner is like buddies with pulled over this city councilman / like a black activist.
Yep.
And the problem is the city councilman has been gutting the police department because there have been cops that have been selling drugs on the sly to make more, to make that money, and he's been busting crooked cops. Well, of course, cop pulls you over.
Not good.
Yeah, it's not good. So they beat the shit out of him, and what's fucked up is when they like inject him after they beat him, and they basically beat him into a semi-conscious state. And then they like drive his car off the dock with him in it, but they shoot him up first.
Yeah.
But then they tuck his needle in his fucking like pocket. Like, I'm going to shoot up and just tuck my needle away.
Save it for later.
What the fuck?
Oh, another memory. Just like, yep, just like just like junkies do. They like to keep mementos.
Keep it neat, man.
Here's memento. The time I did drugs. No.
Fuck. That was ridiculous. And anyway, they drive his car off the bridge. Of course, they find the cop. They find him. He's dead. And they also hid drugs in his trunk too. So now the guy that's against drugs,
case the needle isn't found. Yeah.
So the guy who's against drugs is now like, oh, potential drug dealer. Yada yada. He's been lying to you the whole time. Blah blah blah. Well, the rookie cop who didn't do anything to help him, right? Oh, mind you, this is also roughly around not that far in between Rodney King.
Yeah, I was gonna say not that far at all.
So that was a very poignant, and they started with that one too. So that's a very poignant one to start with. A year later, the rookie has now quit the force. He's a drunk. He's living with the guilt of not helping, letting the cops get away with it. So he ends up having a vision of the councilman on a cross and telling him, "Bring them to me." And he was probably just drunk and hallucination. Anyway, he calls his old cop buddies. They're all buddies, and they get along to meet him at the cemetery which was initially where they pulled him over at. That's where
right.
it happened.
Yeah.
And they take him over to the councilman's grave, and meanwhile the cops are in the back planning to kill him because he's the only one that knows and can still turn them in, I guess. I don't know what the limitations are for that, but
Yeah, but
yeah. Anyway,
probably kind of open, you know.
Yeah.
At least they're gonna lose their fucking jobs, even if they don't go to fucking jail.
Yeah.
They'll lose their jobs.
they'll lose their jobs,
Yeah,
and they should. And this is where the fun happens, because one dude pisses on the grave, and then he commands another cop to go do it, and this is where angry zombie councilman comes out and grabs him by the dick.
Whoops.
Not only does he yank him down, he yanks him down and then starts like beating his head against, like with his dick, he's moving the dude's body, beating his head against the
He is the
tombstone.
happiest zombie, by the way. You don't usually see zombies smiling, but like there's like a smirk throughout all these killings that he's just having a great old time taking revenge. Like,
fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like he's got that the way they did his voice is like oh. He's like making these weird grunting noises.
I'm just saying he's having fun. Like, if you're gonna come back from the dead to kill the avenge your death, have fun doing it.
Truth.
Yeah,
very true. And then what? Then the other cop, the cops run away. They get in the car. They drive away full speed. And I forget how it happened where they end up stopping at an intersection. But of course, zombies there.
Whoops.
Because he's not just a zombie. He is like a supernatural force, apparently. And he reaches through the... So I guess cop cars have sunroofs? Because he reaches through the top of the car.
That's a new one.
Yeah. He reaches through the top of the car and pulls dude's head off.
Yeah.
Which was the lamest of the deaths. So far we got death by genitalia pull, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And we got just ripping someone's head off.
Yeah.
But this
is, by the way, how you can tell we watched too many horror movies. We're like, head rip off. Fucking show us something new, all right?
It wasn't even like good blood squirts.
I know, but I'm just saying, we're so desensitized. We're like, fucking another head ripped off. Fucking bullshit.
Oh. So
give us something good.
This is one of the best deaths, or in my opinion, the best death in this segment, but probably one of the best deaths in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Where the final cop starts running away. He ran away from the car and he's running down an alley. Before he runs down the alley, he sees there's a mural that a local artist had spray painted of the councilman.
Oh, yeah.
And so he sees this giant councilman face like pointing at him. And then he starts, he's going batshit crazy, right? Because he's just yelling, "We killed you, we killed him, blah, blah." Meanwhile, he runs down an alley. It's full of junkies. I mean, there's just needles galore on the ground. And then, of course, at the back of the alley, he turns around and bumps into old zombie councilman.
Whoops.
He's like, "Have you paid your taxes?" And hits him and gets knocked down and then gets up to run away. And this is where it's awesome. The councilman just starts zombie, supernatural, picking up fucking used needles and starts stabbing them with them. Just slinging them right in the back. And then he's out of the alley now. He's crossing the street and he's just slinging dirty needles at him. And this is the cool part where like, on the mural, there's where the doors are to the building, it forms a cross. Well, the police officer happens to turn around, so he's facing zombie councilman, and he's still slinging fucking dirty needles, but now he's like stigmata in him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like.
And then the final one goes through his mouth. Ugh.
That's gonna leave an infection.
Well, no, and then they pan out, and then somehow supernatural zombie councilman molds him into the mural.
Yeah.
And so now you've got a screaming white police officer in the like hoodest of the hood alleys, crucified. It's an awesome image.
And that's the thing. Is one thing I really appreciate is some of the like the effects and the what they thought of is really fucking cool. That's one of them.
That final image is very powerful.
Yeah,
I mean, because it showed because he's got blood on his arm from his friend, so it looks like this crucified white cop on a mural that was painted in the middle of, like I said, one of the roughest parts of town. And I don't know. It's just it spoke a lot.
Fucking badass.
But the guy, the rookie who brought them to him, he was like, "Oh, did I do good? Did you get your vengeance, brother?" And then he's like, "Where were you when I needed you?" You're like, "Oh, this dude's fucked too."
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But they make it sound like at the end it's like he got charged with murdering the cops, and there was no trace of the councilman.
Yeah.
He's basically like insane. That's what looks like happened at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. The councilman came back and murdered them and put them in the mural and like, no. Okay, put them away.
Yeah. All right. And that ends. And so the intertwining segments aren't as in depth as like some of the Mortuary Collection ones were. It's definitely just quick, like bam, okay, like where the drugs at? I want this, where the shit? And he's like, oh, the shit. And like Clarence Williams, like, oh, the shit. He's supposed to be like, there's things that give it away in this movie because they're all very hot, but it's very windy outside, so you feel like it can't be that warm.
Yeah.
But like, he is sweating a lot. Clarence Williams III is sweating a lot throughout this entire movie.
Yeah. Death's a sweaty job, man.
Dude,
So.
What's that polyester fucking purple jacket he's wearing?
Again, does he not wear the same fucking outfit and fucking Half-Baked? I think he just carried that show. He's like, all right, we got a wardrobe. He's like, can I just take the fucking wardrobe I had from the last movie I did?
Those guys aren't going to miss it. It's fine.
Yeah. This wardrobe, pretty much drug king pimp outfit, match up. There you go.
Yeah. So they kind of go right into the next segment, but they don't show the body in the casket right out of the way because it was so apparently fucked up looking. You're like, oh, what's the story going to be about?
Yeah.
Now this one was actually pretty short and sweet. It's not a lot of the way they do it's really cool. Like because the intro, it's like the boy's blocking his door. And he's hears the noise trying to come through the door.
It's like the boogeyman.
Well, it's like a growling,
or,
and then you see like
a monster.
A clawed hand come around, and like, oh shit.
And then I love when it sets you up because you think, oh, this is supernatural, as in the creature, but it's the kid's interpretation of what's happening that he creates the monster,
which is how the mind does work.
Yeah,
like that's like. The human mind wants to rationalize whatever, like what's going on or something, especially if something bad's happening to you. You're going to try to find that safe place to rationalize it, and it could turn into a supernatural like monster. And now we need to make the monster go away. You know what I mean? So it's such a good representation of a really fucked up thing.
All right, this is the one. This is one I was kind of excited to talk about because I remember watching this one, and like I didn't watch it in the theater, but I saw it right when it came out on VHS. And I remember what blew me the fuck away is I was a huge fan of fucking In Living Color.
Yeah.
And seeing fucking David Alan Grier as the most evil, fucked up, abusive, like I just remember him being fucking every skit on In Living Color, and now you're seeing him, and he is this fucking asshole, this abusive piece of shit. He's the fucking monster.
Yeah.
And it blew me away because, again, we're kind of used now to some comedians taking on serious roles or dramatic roles, but back then there wasn't a lot of that, and I was actually impressed. Like it threw me off at first, but then he does a good job on it.
He does a great job.
Yeah,
he does a great job. And here's a little cool tidbit too. So the whole thing happens. The kid's showing up to school, bruises. He has his teacher's concerned, and the teacher is actually the director.
Oh, really? That's what I thought.
Oh, Rusty.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to mention his last name.
Yeah, Rusty.
He is the director. And basically what happens after he shows up a couple times with new bruises, like I think it's his eye, and then it's his arm, and then something else.
It's pretty obvious.
He stays inside at recess one day, and Rusty, Professor Rusty shows up, and he's like, hey, you want to go outside, recess, and play outside? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And he drew the monster. Well, then he also drew the kid that was bullying. Was it Tyrone, I think?
Oh, yeah.
But he's like, one of the other classmates told him, well, if you draw the monster, and then when he comes back and you just crumble up the picture, it'll go away. Well, what's awesome is when the teacher is talking to him, he gets up and, told him like, hey, I'm going to come to your house and talk to your mother. He gets up and goes away. He knocks the Tyrone picture down. Well, the kid, picks it up. Tyrone's outside playing. He crumbles the paper up, and you hear like this whimper.
Oh, like, yeah.
Ah! And then like, fucking, you find out through one of the teachers outside talking with Professor Rusty that how do you fall down and break both arms and both legs? He must have had weak bones.
Yeah,
he must have had weak bones.
This is a prequel to Unbreakable. That's Mr. Glass. Yeah,
Mr. Glass. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There we go.
Oh, dude. That's so good though.
Wait, come on, fucking shitty fucking teacher. Oh, he must have fell down and broke all the important bones in his body. Like what? You know what? You're fired, by the way.
Fired.
Oh, well, how did this happen? I think he fell down.
Well, he said, no, he didn't say he think. He said he saw him go up the steps and just fall. No one hit him. No one bumped into him. He just fell down.
I know, but
it's like,
that's still
I couldn't imagine seeing that. Like, what the fuck, dude?
But it sets you up.
Oh, yeah, because.
Oh, man. And dude, Professor
Rusty shows up.
Yeah.
And Mama is like hot and wet as soon as like she answers the door. Like, that's crazy. Like, your kid's got bruises and you're just like making puddles as you're walking. Like, you need to chill out for a second.
Yeah.
What is her? Paula Jai Parker. She was in a bunch of stuff throughout the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Friday,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why it's the early 2000s. Hustle and Flow. So she's fine as hell. Beautiful, beautiful woman. So his real father's dead. So she's a single mom. Someone came along and was willing to help because, it doesn't matter if you're a single mom or a single father. Like, help is help. Like, and finding somebody that, at the time didn't show themselves and you look at it as like, oh, I want to have a partner again. And then you find out, see, this is the thing that the kid left out because he's the monster, but he sees while the teacher's there, he sees when he comes home how he like
he
reacts.
knows. Yeah, he knows. Because, he's a fucking asshole.
Exactly. It all culminates.
He's got a very quick trigger, and that you just put two and two together.
Why didn't you open the door? Really?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Come on.
he's such an instant dick that it doesn't take much for the teacher to be like, okay, yeah, bruises. This dude fucking lost his shit about the most simple things.
When they're talking, he's even like, well, because the monster's like, and what else? And the teacher's like, well, aside from the bruises, I mean, aside from that,
yeah,
you're like, the fuck. So anyway, he ends up, once the teacher leaves, he digs in, beats the shit out of the mom. He's kicking the shit out of the kid.
Oh,
teacher rolls back in. He's just beating the fuck out of everybody. Like, I mean,
he beats the shit out of the fucking teacher.
Yeah, he beats the shit out of everybody. I mean, dude. Mama took some serious fucking punches to the face. Like, it was fucked up.
Something really terrible needs to happen to
this
him.
guy. And so last-ditch effort, picture had been shown to him by the teacher earlier of the monster, so it had flown off the table, and the kid grabbed it and just started twisting it. Well, no, he folds the arm, and you see him do like this really tight fold,
man.
And the arm breaks back, and he's holding oh, dude, it's so good.
I fucking hate broken
so
arms
good.
and shit.
Then the leg.
But yeah, fuck. But the effect is for especially 95.
95, yeah.
Really fucking tight.
Yeah.
And like it's one of those, it leaves a mark. Like there's some stuff I had to play catch up on when I rewatched this. That is not one of the scenes. That shit left a mark from when I watched it back in fucking 95. Like I remember fucking folding the paper and that fucking arm,
and then he folds the leg, and then he twists it, and the whole body spins around.
It's one of the pretty crazier effects, like especially coming out of the 90s.
That's again, they got the syringe death in the beginning, and that death were like two of the best deaths in this movie.
Yeah.
Now at the end, so this is also a comedy.
Yeah.
It is a horror comedy to an extent, because at the end it's very like, we're not finished, bitch. I'm like, dude, you're a puddle of whatever the fuck you are.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the boy takes it over to the stove, lights it on fire, and that's pretty much the end.
Yeah,
that's it. And then some other filler shit with the mortuary, like, where the shit? We got the shit. That's enough, old man.
Yeah, come
Give me
on.
the shit. And then a doll falls down. Now this is probably my favorite segment. This is my favorite.
Is it really?
This is fucking hilarious. This movie, this segment is fucking hysterical. Like, this is the ultimate
those
comedy
dolls,
of the comedy.
Those dolls are...
No, it's the dude running around being racist as shit, but just like, it's hilarious because he's so fucking like...
Now, are you talking about the white dude or the dude that's completely selling out?
The white dude.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
But the dude that's fucking selling out, that's like, it's all right, like...
He's like, oh, God, I've been hanging around you too long. He's like, you've been hanging around him too long. Like, you shouldn't be in the same vicinity as him.
Yeah.
So this one is called...
He's like, sir, your Ku Klux Klan hood is fucking showing the entire fucking time. Like, you could just put a Ku Klux Klan hood on his fucking head.
Yeah.
Because he makes no bones about it, how he feels about black people.
No.
Like, yeah.
He even, I think a minstrel show gets brought up. Dude, see, that part isn't... It's when he's literally... All right, we'll get into that. All right. So this third segment is called KKK Comeuppance. So, comeuppance. That is like basically a way of saying you're going to get what you're getting what you deserve kind of thing. Your comeuppance. So, there's basically a racist senator who was once part of the KKK who is now running for governor.
Yep.
So somehow it became senator, being an ex-KKK member, but died okay. But now he thinks he can win being governor.
Yeah.
Anyway, the big issue is he moved into an ancestral home of his that used to be a plantation where his ancestor Nathan Wilkes owned slaves, and then when he found out that at the end of the Civil War the slaves were going to be freed, he got so enraged that he murdered them all. I think the senator wannabe governor even bragged about there being 12 strung up on the front yard.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like, at the fuck. Anyway.
It's a little comical of how like
that's what I'm
only
saying.
because
Like, dude,
it's not like he's slightly like, dude, you're trying to run for office and you're not even hiding it
That's what
at
I'm
all.
saying.
He's just like,
that's why you got to look at it. It is a satire.
I know.
It is. They are definitely trying to. I mean, dude, this is all, it's black written, black directed, black produced. It's like they definitely are. They're not doing it to like, they're proving a point while also being.
I mean, he
would
be high up in the Trump administration if.
God.
But anyhow, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh Jesus. So the next resident after Nathan Wilkes was Miss Cobbs, and she was a hoodoo witch.
Mm-hmm.
So what she did was she took all the lost souls that were left on the property that were murdered and transferred them into dolls. Now, this is a folktale, and they have the old Friday 13th old dude. It's got a death curse.
Yeah.
It shows up.
Watch out.
He's like, they want their reparations. Get it. They don't want you in their house. Oh, shit. All right. You got an old man with gray hair yelling at you about some shit. You need to listen.
It's got a death curse. God damn, that's going to be stuck in my head now.
And the dolls are said to still be in the house, but according to the KKK senator, he said that he has searched the house from top to bottom and didn't find a single doll. Now, in his grand office, there is a giant mural of Miss Cobbs with all her dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So, all right, basically, they realized right away that the assistant, the public image dude, is a sellout to his own race, and one of the dolls comes out of the picture and kind of sticks himself at the corner of the stairs, and he falls down the stairs and dies. And then he shows up at the funeral for said dude in the limo of KKK senator, and I don't know. Yo, God, it's so creepy looking, dude.
I know.
So fucking creepy looking. We're going to post story. There'll be stills of this. It's fucking creepy. But anyway, so they get back to the house, and, the dude watches the video because he's recording. They're recording this because they're doing like posterior, and he says public image guy. They're trying to get the look down, right, for when he's asked these questions. And he sees in the video that one of the dolls, the same doll that was in his limo earlier, was what he tripped over. And he's like, oh, fuck. And he's like, hey, man, you guys are going to come back to the house. There's some weird shit going on, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, he sees the doll. And so he's I'm sorry. I want to repeat some of the shit he says so bad, but I just can't bring myself. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's so fucking funny. Dude, like, he strings him up on the dartboard with a shotgun and shoots him. And, like, oh my God, dude, it's terrible. But meanwhile, he's running away from this one doll. And he goes back in, and he sees 3 more dolls are down. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Whoa, shit.
And then he's running away from them, yada, yada. He ends up leaving his office. Some more shenanigans and chicanery and running around happens. And he runs back in, and all the dolls are down. And I'm kind of pushing through that because you really have to watch those scenes. They are hysterical. You just have to watch him running and just getting more racist as it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And he just sounds so bass-ackwards. Like, it's hilarious.
They're just like weird looking, creepy marionette, like almost like. Do you remember the way back in the day there was a basketball player, Penny Hardaway, and they had Nike commercials, and if you took that and they had them as dolls, but just fucking like fuck them up. That's what these dolls look like.
You're right. You're so right. Oh, but it's just like he gets so racist as it keeps going, and it's just like. It is funny. If anybody's got a sense of humor, I can laugh at that. Personally, for me, like, because I know where the directors, I can tell when the director's going a certain way, and they're not doing it to be like aggressive.
Yeah,
it's a satire. It's supposed to be funny, and when he runs back in and they're all down, he turns around and he sees a bunch of just an army of fucking
he's fucked
slave souls.
Yeah,
but what does he do? When he like falls down and he's like just so fucked up because he sees all these dolls, just army of dolls in front of him, he falls down and he's leaning against the cupboard. He grabs his flag because he had used it to beat one of them earlier.
That's right.
He grabs the American flag and puts it over him as they charge him. We're talking about the imagery.
Yeah,
like he's literally covering himself with the American flag.
Yeah,
as the people that were wronged in America are literally eating him to death.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's fucking beautiful. Oh
and
man,
you knew he was fucked because like literally his assistant that they fucked him up, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
So, this motherfucker has made no bones about how fucking racist he is.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fucking, like, murder the shit out of him.
And they did.
Yeah.
And Miss Cobbs pops up out of the mural, too. And this is cool. That was actually played by the director's mom, Christina.
That's pretty awesome.
That was Mrs. Yep.
Yeah.
And she's just rocking back and forth, watching them just eat them away.
Yep. There
Eat
you
away
go.
at good old America.
Yep. Evil penny hearted away fucking puppets. Jesus Christ.
And that's the end of that one. But it's so funny. That one's definitely I got to say my favorite.
I still go with the paper monster one just because, like, I remember those, like, when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, but it didn't stick in my head the way that the second segment
did.
did.
Voodoo doll, the doll one did. Like the doll one, that's for me. Like whenever I look back at that movie, I think of the first segment a lot.
Yeah.
But I always picture that fucking doll. Like when I hear Tales from the Hood, I picture that fucking doll,
man,
dude.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Dude, I'll hang that shit up.
Yeah,
Fuck
you will.
Fuck
And you know what? I'm going to go over your house, and we're not looking. I'm just going to slightly move it here or there, put something next to its hand, like, like, oh, man, that's weird.
Yeah, asshole. So we actually see some movement in the frame story at the mortuary because
I mean,
one of the guys walked away and is they're getting ready to take him to the shit. This is it. We're on the way to the shit. Well, they pass another parlor and one of the three drug dealers looked in. He's like, "Oh shit, guys, come look at this!" And it's this dude laying there, and old Clarence walks up and he's like, "Oh, this is Crazy K. Do you know him?" And the guy got real defensive, like, "No, he's just a dude in the street. We just recognize him from the neighborhood. We don't know him." And then you go into his story, and dude's rolling around. Crazy K, he's like rolling around. He noticed some dude driving by. He's apparently just been talking shit or something. He turns around, goes fucking after him. Dude parks. Crazy K gets out, shoots him. Well, Crazy K, the dude's partners are in the fucking house. And before Crazy K can get into his car, his partners start lighting him up. And there's three dudes. And then you can tell they're using a voice thing on them.
Yep.
But the cops show up before they get the final shots in. They run away. Those three dudes die. Cops kill him. Crazy K is still alive. Gets arrested. 4 years later, he gets selected for this like interim program thing, this rehabilitation program, where he gets moved and shipped out to another facility.
Yeah.
And basically he gets he gets jailed next to a extreme white supremacist. Like, remember, he shows the dude his tattoos, and his tattoos tell a story of how the white race will take over the world. Like, literally, the dude's going through the tattoos all over his body.
It's story time on my skin. Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit.
And then they
He's like, we will spare the few that think like us, and then they will be our slaves after the war. I'm like, holy fuck.
I mean, yeah, it kind of puts Edward Norton's character in American history down into shame because, Edward Norton, he had the swastika. This dude's like, no, I want the entire story tattooed on me, so how serious and racist I am. Like, that's a lot of dedication to your racism, man.
It's crazy. They go to each side of his body, and his chest and his forearms, and they all are part of the story. Yeah. He's like, well, I've got my armies, then we go to this, we take over this, and then I got my soldiers, and it's like a knife with a bad word on it and killer. And I mean, dude, I'm like, holy fuck, these writers are amazing.
Yeah,
because the writers had to think of that.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And then he bitches about it to the head doctor at the next day, and he's like, oh, I put him next to you because you guys are alike. Because the last thing the white supremacists asked him is, what color were the people you killed?
Bam. Message.
Just saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, they really touch across everything. And I know Spike Lee on his particular movies, they do a good job of that too.
Yeah.
He always does a good job with that. This director and these writers did equally a good job, where it's not just like demonizing one particular thing. It's like, black people kill a lot of black people.
Yeah.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
Like, they kill a lot of them. And
they're just as bad as, in a way. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's worse. You're supposed to unify. You're killing
now
your own people.
I do have to apologize, but if you've ever watched While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, and literally every time there's something and a dude pops up, it says message. So yeah, it's almost.
No, you're right though. But it's funny.
I know,
good.
And it's hard to watch something and not just see the dude pop up and not that movie even and go message. Yeah. So.
Hey, it's true though. And then the first step of the rehabilitation program was she shows him all these images of KKK members. Black people being lynched on the dead on the ground or hanging from a tree, and there's just a crowd of white people smiling into the camera. But then it shows images of a lot of black dudes So it shows KK guys wearing hoods. Then it shows a lot of black dudes in ski masks going at and shooting black people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just showing like you're not helping anything if you're doing the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over the same level of ignorant shit. What, drugs? Really? Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not coming from the same place, but it is coming from it. But as far as for the ignorant side, it's coming from the same place of ignorance. It's just ignorant to do that.
Yeah.
You know? So I really like the message I was going with there. And then the final part of the therapy session, the rehabilitation was a sensory deprivation chamber. Now I say chamber because it wasn't a tank. Part of the tank is that you're weightless. In this, it's just completely silent, and there's no distractions, just your brain. So he starts seeing all his victims. And even a little girl who got caught by a stray bullet, like he's seen everything he did, but he wouldn't take responsibility for his actions.
Yeah.
So
she should have been there. Like,
exactly, like stray bullets, like
your
bullets.
bullet.
Yeah, it's like bullets don't have names on it. You're in the wrong place, wrong time. I was in my room playing with my toys.
Yeah, exactly.
I was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Should have been in your room.
The fuck?
Should have been come on, man, take some fucking responsibility. Message.
Seriously. And yeah, it came down to where, as soon as they let us, his straps were free. He grabbed one of the nurses and was like, "I don't give a fuck." And the head nurse is like, "This is your last chance. Like, that's it." And they all kind of disappear. And then next, he wakes up and he's still on the ground with the three dudes over him. And he's just saying, "I don't give a fuck." And then they finish him off.
Yep.
So the whole thing about them running away and getting shot and him getting arrested in the 4 years, like, I don't know. So I don't know if that was a dream or if that was like a supernatural thing where he got sent back.
I feel it was supernatural.
Yeah, you think it was supernatural?
Yeah.
And then, all right, well, that's it. And that's it for the stories.
Yep.
And that one was actually called, I forgot the name, it was Hardcore Convert. I forgot to tell you the name.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they've had enough because now they know that he knows that they're the killers, the three dudes. That's a little twist. It's a twist.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I still appreciate Mortuary Collection, but I'm picking up that I feel like the director of that movie might have watched this movie because there's a few similarities between the two.
And so he's like, "Oh yeah, the shit. We're going to get the shit." I mean, dude, he has one of the greatest parts of this movie. Clarence Williams. He's so fucking good.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. He takes them all the way to the basement and he's like, "They're in the coffins. Where else would I have kept?" Oh, dude, he's hilarious.
Dude, please, one Halloween, please do your hair like that. Find whatever crazy.
I'm not shaving though. It'll be with a beard.
If you have the hair, the beard doesn't fucking matter, dude. All right, but please,
the purple jacket with the green lapels,
either for Halloween or look, even just a con.
Yeah.
You go to a horror con, somebody
is gonna recognize.
Somebody's gonna recognize it. You do the hair the right way.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man.
Dude,
you'd be my hero.
That's a good call though.
You'd be my hero.
And so they go into the coffins to get the drugs. They're like, "Score," and then it's each of their own coffins. Their bodies are in the coffins, and then they're freaking out like, "What the fuck, man?" And you start seeing, Mr. Sims looking a little funny. His eyes are turning a little red. He's looking a little weird, and he's sweating a lot more now. And their guns start glowing red, like they're getting hot, so they have to drop it. And what you find out is that they were actually killed by some of Crazy K's homies.
Yep.
And they're actually in hell. So as soon as that happens, now the CGI on some of this stuff was definitely bad.
It's 90s,
the snake tongue.
As where we give props to some stuff.
Dates,
There's not. They had a small budget. I don't know. I don't know how to make an excuse for that one.
But he's Mr. Sims starts turning into the devil. Like he has snake tongue come out, and then all of a sudden, like he just morphs into this. What's awesome, practical effects Satan. I thought
it reminds me of Tales from the Dark Side of the movie when. And I know we'll probably cover that at some point, but when the dude makes a mistake of telling someone and she turns into that fucking like demon thing.
Yeah, the gargoyle thing.
Yeah, like that. Like he reminded me of that kind of transformation where it's like, you're fucked, and I'm gonna show you why, and just turning into that fucking creature that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, and then they're just in flames and yeah. That's pretty much the end. They're in hell. He's laughing and all Satan-y and shit, and then it ends. And then now another part about this movie that I don't know if any of these artists are still rapping, but like that actually has a really good soundtrack if you like really hardcore rap.
Yeah.
Like I mean really really aggressive hardcore rap. That soundtrack.
It's a lot of West Coast. It sounds like
Well, this takes place in L.A.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they use West Coast style. Yeah.
So it's just so aggressive.
I sound
dude.
so fucking white when I say you know the West Coast rapping. Then they do the hippity hoppity. So god damn it.
But so it's worth checking out the soundtrack. I know it's on Spotify and I believe it's on Amazon Music, but it's definitely worth checking that out too. Some really cool tracks on that. Dude, it passes the chopping block for me.
I'll throw it out there, man. I wasn't sure. It's been a long time. A couple of like I said, that middle story stuck with me, but I wasn't really sure. But I was way more impressed. Like I thought it would age poorly, but no, I fucking enjoy the shit out of it. And again,
it's because of current times too.
It's current times, but like I don't know, like
it's written so well.
There was a cheese level when I watched it originally, but it held up where some other stuff hasn't, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
I just mentioned Tales from Dark Side. All right.
Yeah.
And there's a couple stories that I really like, but there's some, but fuck, that just aren't. You're just like fucking fast forward. This one, I legitimately watch each one of the stories, and I was happy with it. So
yeah, and I actually think like some of what I thought was cheese early on, like I don't really view it as cheese anymore. It's weird.
Well, it's almost like
some of the cheese
I hate to say this, but where it was so over drama, like some of the stuff, it's sadly more relevant now than it
is. That what it
sort
is?
of was in '95.
I don't feel like it's as cheesy anymore,
and that's what's kind of scary, dude.
And this is coming from someone like me personally. I've always owned a copy of this ever since I was like late teen. So going from VHS to DVD to the newest Scream Factory Blu-ray.
I might borrow that from you.
Yeah,
I had to watch on
extra stuff.
A pretty weak streaming site where I definitely want to see in a higher definition. Let's just say that
I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the movie, but like I have noticed that as it's gone on, and I rewatch it, like I'm enjoying it more and more almost each time. Which it doesn't happen normally. Like the first time you watch is when you fall in love with it, and then you enjoy it. After that, but it's rarely where you watch a movie, and the more you rewatch it over the years, you fall in. I don't know. I'm
going to fall real quick into my other podcast for a second, but this is one of the first times I'm going to bring this up. But at the end of Beautiful Disasters, we always bring up double feature, and I think just because we just did, on the chopping block on this, but I think a good double feature would be Mortuary Collection and this movie.
Yeah.
And just because
and definitely watch it, I would watch this first.
As we've been talking about it, and when I was watching, I'm picking up on a lot of the same beats. And I fucking loved Mortuary Collection. Totally forgot about this movie till we rewatched it. So.
And I would definitely watch this one first, just because of the age, and you'll kind of see the progression as far as CGI and all that stuff. But also, I mean, you actually could just make a night of this because there's a Tales from the Hood 2 and a Tales from the Hood 3, all with the same director.
I've never seen any of those.
Clarence Williams III retired by the time they made the second one in 2018, but Keith David takes the place of Mr. Sims.
And if you're going
dude, if you're going to have a storyteller,
bravo.
Yeah. And
bravo.
He did not come back for the third one that came out in 2020, but Tony Todd did.
There you go.
Dude, so I'm really stoked to watch those.
I haven't seen part 2, but I close my eyes and I just see him from Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah,
with that fucking smile and that, and I already know. Like I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it now. I definitely have to watch it because of just that factor. Because I fucking love that motherfucker. So yeah.
And I mean, I think Tony Todd will be great too. So I really am stoked to see the 2 sequels and just see where they went with it.
Maybe we'll have to do a continuation on this one and throw in the sequels.
Yeah. So. All right, well, that's it. It definitely survived the chopping block. Recommend you watch it. There's a good double feature recommendation. Watch this. Roll right into the Mortuary Collection. You will not be disappointed. And until we talk to you again, stay safe.
Join us at GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty Big Daddy Preston here. That's right, the Geek Father, asking you to join me here every other week with friends and family of the GUI Network as we go through all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent. So remember, join us or cry.
My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIpodcast.com.